ninyo. Sige lang. Nadunggan ko ninyo.
Yes po, ma'am. Sunod na po ikaw, ma'am.
Okay, sige. So, we're done with the types. Nadunggan ko niya sa types, no? So, padayon ta ha. Okay. So, how is blood glucose being monitored? Okay. Usually, urine is being checked and um, blood is being checked. For fasting blood sugar, uh,
Excuse me, ma'am. Wala yung presentation po.
ay, wala. Wala. Wala lang. Kaya na, nakita na.
Yes po, ma'am.
So again, how is blood glucose being monitored? It's either through the urine or sugar, no? Sugar in the urine or sugar in the blood. That is why for fasting blood, the normal is 60 to 100 milligram per deciliter or less than 100 milligram per deciliter. That's for fasting. Meaning, katong wala kay gikaon sa gabi, tapos pagkabuntag yung pa-check up ka. So, mo lang usual, no? The normal, 60 to 100. Now, I'll move on. Okay. So there are common tests that are being used to diagnose diabetes depending on say it prescribes a doctor, no? And start with random or casual plasma glucose test. Now this is done to measure how much sugar glucose you have circulating in the blood. When we talk about random or casual, this means that you have blood drawn at a laboratory anytime. Dili siya kanang after at 6 o'clock sa buntag, ano, wala ka nag-fast. No need, kanina klase nga type sa ano is not necessarily ka nag-fast ka or recently eaten, no? It will not affect the test. Just for the sake na gusto mo ka makabaon kung pila yun yung sugar. Okay, so of course, kung sige kag take in sa carbohydrates, na kay mga source sa kanang possible na makataas sa imong sugar, mataas din ang sugar nimo pag naka random or casual plasma glucose test. Okay. Another is so kung saan ni pagkuha, no, a single lab drawn or taken at any time of the day regardless of when you last ate. So bisan pag isang oras ka pa nagkaon, sa'yo man or late man, dili na makapekto. Ang importante lang is like nakaka-check ka kung pila imong sugar. Okay? So this is usually done nganong buhaton ni labi na kung ang tao naayod siya severe symptoms. Ibig sabihin na siya frank display of the symptoms. That is why at any time, at any moment, bisan pag wala nagkaon man, takas gid ang iyang sugar, coupled with other symptoms that are already being observed sa kanila patient. Okay, next. The threshold, no, meaning to say, ang iyang diha lang siya kutob, asa man na. No? So, a result sa random of 200 milligram per DL or higher than 200 milligrams, especially with classic hyperglycemia symptoms. So I will already have touched the symptoms, excessive thirst, polydipsia, polyphagia, polyuria. Now, this indicates diabetes and usually requires follow-up testing. Okay? So, just to be sure, para lang jud makabalo jud ka kung unsa may jud tama gani, insakto gani, mag-fasting glucose test, no? Mag-fasting blood sugar, ipa-test with ang through fasting. So, kung wala kayo di ka ulit, taas ka yung sugar, that already makes the diagnosis much more clear. Okay, next we have fasting plasma glucose test, fasting blood sugar. This simple blood test is taken after you have abstained from food or drink, except water. But actually, karon kung dili man nimo kaya ang walay tubig, pwede ra ang tubig, pero karon pag may ibang FDS, wala yung tubig, as in kompleto nga wala kay kaon, wala kay inom for at least 8 hours. So kung maingon ka og kanang post-midnight, ibig sabihin after sa 12 o'clock, wala na ka dapat kaunon. 12 o'clock sa gabi, ha? Wala ka dapat kaunon, inumon, and so on and so forth. This is good for patients, inpatients, meaning katong na hospital. Kabalay, pag mata, o magitay, o di ka magkape, hindi ka magkuan na, diretso ka sa laboratory. Now, the normal plasma glucose level after fasting is between 60 to 99, or it's between 60 to 100 milligram per dl. The diabetes is not confirmed until two separate fasting plasma glucose tests measures 126 or greater. So, ibig sabihin, kaduhaon o kuha, no? Kaduha ka mag-fasting blood sugar, niya mo measure gani siya 126 or higher, meaning na akay diabetes. Other than that, otherwise, wala. Now, the third would be oral glucose tolerance test, or GTT. Now, this is possible for people with diabetes. Even it's possible para sa mga tao na may diabetes, even with those with symptoms, to have a normal fasting blood sugar or fasting plasma glucose test. Nay panahon niya na. So kung kanina category, normal ka sa FBS, asa ka padulong, no? So tagaan ka og oral glucose tolerance test sa doktor, ipa-undergo ka ani. So again, unsay buhaton, i-abstain gihapon, walay pagkaon, walay ginainom except for water for 8 hours and drink a liquid. So paimnon ka og kanang tubig o liquid nga na ay certain amount of glucose, no? Usually 75 grams of glucose ipainom na tanan sa imuha. Okay? Next. Then after that one, kuhaan kag dugo. No, you are drawn at 1, 2, and 3 hours interval. Every 1 hour, every 2 hours, or every 3 hours, um, na pag-ikan sa imong pag-inom ng glucose, kuhaan kag dugo. So for fasting glucose, no, more than 140 milligrams per dl, and a 2-hour glucose more than 200 milligrams per day on two occasions are diagnostic of diabetes. Remember, 60 to 100 or 60 to 110 or 60 to 99. So naara ka diha. Beyond that one, labi na kung nag-take ka of sugar, like in oral glucose tolerance test, a rate of a result of more than 140 milligrams for 2 hours glucose more than 200 milligrams per dl is diagnostic of diabetes. So how do you prepare your patient? Usually, NPO siya after midnight, so 10 to 12 hours pass, and patient sometimes ingest high carbohydrates for 3 days preceding the test. No? Before siya mag-test, kailangan nagkaon siya daghan kaayong carbohydrates. Okay? So taas kayo tulo ka adlaw yun, no? Then fasting blood sample is now being taken. Okay? Nawala na sad ko? Wala. Okay ra ko? Okay
Yes
ra
po,
ko?
ma'am.
Kuratan na huwag ko. Sige na lang tagawalaan. Okay. Then let's move on to, okay, to continue. Ang glucose load, ang kanang gipainom sa imong gikaon mga carbohydrates amounting to 75 grams per 300 ml of flavored beverage. Pwede kang painom o something of 7, ang content of solute is 75 grams. So taas kayong sugar ani, dissolved in 300 ml. Okay, nga inom nun, ipainom na sa imuha. Within the 3 days time, on the third day, kuhaan ka. Then kuhaan ka specimen, pagka blood, at 1, 2, and 3 hours after glucose ingestion. Okay, results. Kung naa kay urine ketones, so kung word ketones, meaning katong daghang kag deposit nga fats, tapos gibuak ang fats sa lawas. No? This Pagtaas ng ketones, this indicates diabetic control has deteriorated. Dito say wala gid ka nakakontrol sa imong diabetes. The body will start to break down, or the body has already started to break down and store fat for energy. So, ang imuhang lawas, wala gid na manage ang imuhang diabetes. So, naga-conserve siya o i-conserve niya ang sugar into fats. Wala, daghan ng ketones. Delikado ka yung ketones, no? Okay. Now, the blood is drawn before drinking the glucose mixture. Ang uban, waandaan o dugo, una magkuha ang glucose for baseline purposes and 2 hours later or atong 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you will be asked to refrain from eating until the test is completed. So this test is called oral glucose tolerance test. Okay. So the fasting plasma glucose normally is less than 100 milligram per dl. Okay, like 60 to 100. Values from 100 milligrams to 126 milligram per dl are diagnostic of pre-diabetes. So, kung imo na siyang i-classify, ang imuhang normal is wala ka nilampas sa 100 or less than 100 lang yun ka. Fasting na ha. Pero kung nag-fasting ka, unya ang imong sugar ni abot na siya og 126, from 100 to 126 between na ka sa pre-diabetic phase. Pag ang imuhang um, results sa imong fasting is 126 and above, diagnostic na yun siya nga naagid ay diabetes. So you please remember this one para na mo baseline. Okay, later on. Pag start mo endocrine, pag magklase niyo may stress endocrine, wala na may problema. Kaya it's more on naamagid ang diabetes. So at least na may idea. So 2 hours after the glucose drink, your plasma glucose is less than 140 milligram per dl. Normal na siya. Sa normal. Pag nag-inom ka o juice, nag-inom ka o something na ay glucose o na ay sugar, dili gid siya mulampas sa 140 milligram. Mao na siya ang kuan sa lawas. Pero kung naano ka sa pre-diabetic phase, tapos iinom ka o glucose drink, mo-register ang imuhang value sa 140 to 199 milligram per dl. Pag ang imong rate na po, no, pag nag-inom ka o any glucose drink greater than 200 milligram, you already have diabetes. Bisag wala pa ka nito sa hospital, bisag wala pa ka nagpa-admit o sa balagina, pero naa na kay background, makabalo ka. Kung diabetic mo ka o dili. Okay? So let's move on. Let's move on to another test. We call this one as glycosylated hemoglobin test or HbA1c. I just do not know kung apil ba sa laboratory ninyo, pero this is a laboratory test that would test your sugar within the past 3 months. Ibig sabihin, unsa di ay kakontrolado ang iyong sugar sa last 3 months sa inyong kinabuhi, no? Okay, so according to American Diabetes Association, this will diagnose diabetes and pre-diabetic stage. The blood sample can be taken without fasting. I-explain na po ni nganong makabalugid kung unsa ay mga kondisyon in the last 3 months. Okay. Physiology. Money explanation diha. Diba you have your hemoglobin? Ato ta sa ano ha? Yeah. So if you have, this is your blood cell, no, in your blood vessel. Kanang dugo diha is your glucose. So every time ang glucose mo attach sa hemoglobin molecule, it has a great affinity to attach to the hemoglobin. Dalhon na sa imong red blood cell. Hemoglobin is the pigment inside or the center of your um, kanang red blood cell. So, bit-bit sa imong red blood cell, imong glucose, kasi naka-attach mo siya sa hemoglobin molecule. You have to remember the lifespan of your red blood cell is only 120 days, and that is about 3 months. So, sa 3 months time, after ma-dissolve na siya, mabungkag na siya, di ba? Mamatay, ma-destroy ang imuhang red blood cell. So, with the glucose. Ibig sabihin, mahibaw-an na siya sa laboratory in the past 3 months unsa kadaghan sa glucose ang naa sa imong red blood cell or unsa kadaghang red blood cell ang bitbit ang daghang glucose. Kasi kung daghan ka glucose, okay, meaning to say dapat your hemoglobin has been exposed to sugar over those time. So, daghan kaayo ang possibility nga kung unsa kadaghan sa imong red blood cell, makusag kadaghan ang imuhang attached na glucose. Okay? So, ina na ang pag-test. Alam mo, sa HbA1c. Okay? Para makasabot mo, sa na inyong ginapaan. Now, the higher amount of glucose in the blood, the higher the percentage of the hemoglobin molecules that will have glucose attached. Okay? So think of A1C as a long-term blood glucose measure that changes very gradually as red blood cells die and replaced by new cells. Okay. However, the A1C or HbA1c does not replace blood glucose monitoring. Dili na siya maka-replace. Actually, gina-test lang niya kung unsa to yung condition sa imong sugar during the past 3 months. Because the A1C is an average of all your blood sugar. But it will not tell you your blood sugar pattern. Okay? Isya mo kuan kung sobra makataas, mubo ba, o sige, unsa mo pag-manage, dili na mo hatag og idea na. So for example, one person with frequent high and lows can have the same A1C as another person with very stable blood sugar but will not vary too much. Okay. So what's the point? Ibig sabihin, the HbA1c is yet another indicator of how well you are doing. So, result. If the A1c is between 4 to 6%, it, this is considered the range that someone is not diabetic. So, kung imong HbA1c is between 4 to 6%, ang yung result, meaning to say, wala kay diabetes. Pero, more than this one, daghan na kag risk for complication. So, mag-aim jud ka nga imong HbA1c is less than 7%. At least nasa mga 4 to 6. Wala lang. I'll move on. So, the American College of Endocrinology states that ang goal should maintain a HbA1c of 6.5, less than 6.5%. No? Kung dili ka sigurado ani, because na akin ay mga medication sa imong mga sakit na makapataas sa imong sugar within the last 3 months, pag-check ka sa doktor. Okay, generally, 2.5% to 6% means good diabetic control, and more than 8% means a poor diabetic control. Okay, so you have the chart here. Okay, so estimated average glucose milligram per deciliter. Yan, kung 5% lang, 95 lang yung glucose milligram per deciliter. Kung 6%, that is the threshold, no? 126. About that one, taas na jud kayo. Okay. Next. So according to American Diabetes Association, the test result of over 6.5 is considered diagnostic of diabetes, while 5.7 to 6.4 is pre-diabetes, and less than 5.6 is considered normal. So glycosylated hemoglobin or hemoglobin A1C tests are similar to A1C and also evaluate the long-term blood glucose control. Okay. So caution, remember ha, kung dili man accurate o dili man ka-sure, dili magsali sa A1C or HbA1c, magpa-check yun sa uban nga laboratory test. So, yan. So, for example, someone has a certain type of hemoglobin mutation, no? Na ay problema yung hemoglobin, magka-problema ka ani, or severely anemic, or gamay ka yung red blood cell count, or treated with blood transfusion or medications, with BP, pa-imprison na kadaghanon, no? I-force na daghan jud kay mahatag sa imong mga RBC, or on medication that will increase production of red blood cell, then A1C may not be accurate. Okay. So, anyway, I'll move on. So you have in here a table list of other diagnostic criteria for diagnosing diabetes. So, kamo na lang ang tanaw ana. Picturein ninyo ba? Picturein na lang ninyo. Hmm. Okay. Type 1 diabetes is caused by a loss of malfunction of the insulin producing cells. I already have mentioned this one. Now for type 1 diabetes, there is already destruction of the pancreas, no? Specifically the beta cells. Now this results to non-production or insufficient production of insulin. That is why instead mga katong injectable to mimic talaga ng kopyahon niya para may effect sa insulin. Now, most cases of type 1 diabetes have an autoimmune disease, no, that will destroy the beta cells. Mura bagtan-aw nila na ay kung na may kagaw, pakihon ang beta cells sa lawas, no? So what is beta cells being destroyed? The most common cause is an autoimmune attack. However, in general, wala di reason, makita ka ba sa rason nga nagiging nga atakihon ang beta cells. So there are a lot of theories and so on, but the fact remains na wala ka dyan. Okay. So for autoimmune disease, just to have a bird's eye view lang that causes type 1 diabetes, no? The beta cells are identified as harmful and the immune system attacks it. That is why dili niya mahatag ang insulin. Wala insulin na ma-produce. Now, the immune cells gradually destroys the beta cells in the pancreas, and as the beta cells are lost, it does not produce enough insulin, and eventually, gamay na lang ang beta cells na bilin. Hantod nga ang blood glucose will rise because of insufficiency of insulin. Now, because of the combination of this one, you have the genetic factors, inherited genes, increased we also have the environmental triggers like viral infection and so on. So, in general, wala yun siya um, direct na ganong reason, ganong dili yun, ganong patayon yun or gumpon yun ang beta cells. For type 2 diabetes naman, the beta cells are usually not destroyed by the immune system. Wala kinalaman ang immune system pag type 2 na siya. So, however, ang cell mismo, no, the cell of the body become resistant to insulin. Hindi niya kasudlo ng insulin. No, they do not respond to it well. And the beta cells work harder to produce more insulin. However, over the years, the beta cells can become damaged or lose their ability to make enough insulin. Mo na nahitabo sa type 2 diabetes. Now, since insulin is necessary to sustain life, that is why naatay mga artificial insulin, no? That is to be that replaces the original or the natural insulin coming from the pancreas. So we have the so-called insulin pump, no? That delivers insulin under the skin, or you can inject it. So So, pwede i-inject through the syringe, pwede po niya dili. Okay. So, for type 1 diabetes, it accounts about 5 to 10% of diabetes worldwide, no? From adolescence to early adulthood, or it can even occur at any age. So, for type 1 diabetes, naiusahay na misdiagnose siya as type 2. So, dapat magpa-check so yun siya kung unsa ang mga symptoms kaya matiyon because na mga symptoms na halos pare-pareho sila. Okay, 85 to 90% will have no known family history of the disease. So, theories. Okay, so ako nag-isulti kay kanina, beta cells are destroyed because of the autoimmune disease, viral infection, genetic predisposition, and environmental factors. So, pinaka-common is hereditary component of type 1 diabetes. Okay. So, for example, sa mga twins, no, the same genetic environmental risk, it is traditionally reported that only about 40% will both have the disease. So, dili sa ilang duha, dili po tanan, dili sila duha magka-diabetes. No? Sa swertehan lang yun. So, recent research suggests that the number may be much higher. Okay, so certain genes type and so on and so forth. Okay, I'll move a little bit faster. So this is type 1 diabetes. We have insufficient insulin. That is why dili makasulod sa cell ang glucose. Okay? So we diminish insulin. Okay? Dili basta-basta makasulod ang glucose. Kasi mura mo gud siyang susi, no? Para makasulod siya. Okay. Now let's move on. So we have subcategories of type 1 diabetes. We have subtype A, the latent autoimmune diabetes for adults, of adults. Na kung iyong daw immune system is so overactive that it is destroying normal beta cell tissue. Sobrang active na pati ang beta cells sa pancreas. Siraon sa niya. Okay? Ang tawag sa ihana na ana sa type 1 of which the autoimmune is very active. Okay? So, the test looks for markers. Ang laboratory test, nagtanaw na siya mga markers. So, what are they? First, check niya po presence of glutamic acid, decarboxylase antibodies na aba o dagada, the islet cell antibodies to membranous tyrosine phosphate, the islet cell antibodies, and insulin antibodies. So, muna yung makita, muna yung tanawang sa test kung present ba na siya. Now, some adults have a slowly progressive autoimmune destruction of their beta cells, referred to as the LADA or latent autoimmune disease of adults. Okay. So individuals with LADA may be treated for years with diet and pills and often are misdiagnosed as having type 2 diabetes. Ultimately, insulin replacement therapy is necessary to control the blood sugar. A diagnosis is made by confirming the presence of antibody markers. If you have type 1B, this means you have met these two criteria. First, wala yun ay evidence in the blood that the immune system is attacking beta cells. Second, the alternating cycles where you need and then don't need insulin replacement. Okay? So, depende lang yun. Insulin is the main regulator of sugar in the bloodstream. I already have mentioned this one, so I'll go directly to the next. Okay. So high insulin levels drive Mean to say, iyang i-push the sugar into the muscle, fat, and liver cell, where it is stored for future use. Ang low insulin level naman, it allows sugar and other fuels to be released. So, kung kung taas kang insulin, ang imuhang mga sugar, to na sa muscle, sa fat, sa liver cell, para gamiton for future use. So, sobra-sobra yung insulin. So, kung gamay yung insulin, it will allow sugar and other fuels to be released from the bloodstream. So, yan ang ipa-release. Kung gamay lang kag insulin. So insulin levels in the bloodstream are low and relatively constant overnight and between meals. No? These low levels of insulin allow the body to tap into its stored energy sources. Kung sa kanyang pangalan sa stored energy sources, ito ay yung glycogen and fats. This is also to release sugar and other fuels from the liver. So the overnight and in-between meals insulin is referred to as background or basal insulin. So kada kaon na to lang gyud ng insulin depende kung unsa ka oras, depende ang gawas gyud siya. But when you haven't eaten for a while, kanang wala ka nakakaon, your blood sugar level will be somewhere between 60 to 100 milligram per liter. So that's a fasting blood sugar. So when eating, insulin is rapidly released from the pancreas. Kadagkaon ka. Ang bulto sa insulin accompanies eating, which is called bolus insulin. Now, after a meal, blood sugar levels peak at less than 100 milligram per liter, and then bumaba na po na siya to the baseline or the pre-meal range. The high levels of insulin help the sugar get out of the bloodstream and be stored for future use. So, kailangan. Okay. Insulin levels throughout the day. So, makita niyo ang level niya. Kung ang glucose level 100, yan. Ang insulin naman, from the night time, pick up na siya after the breakfast, and then down naman, then medyo sa lunch, and then sa supper na po, saka na po siya. Okay. To keep the blood glucose in a narrow range throughout the day, there is a slow, steady secretion of insulin overnight. Fasting and between meals will spike insulin at meal times. Okay. There are other hormones that work together with insulin to regulate blood sugar, including incretin and glucose-counter regulatory hormones. But among these line, insulin is the most important. Okay. So other hormones that work together with insulin are incretin and glucose-counter regulatory hormones. So, natin na i-focus. Next. Let's move on to the liver and blood sugar. What is its relationship? So the liver acts as the body's glucose or fuel reservoir. So siyang taguanan, no? And helps keep the circulating blood sugar level and other body fuels steady and constant. The liver both stores and manufactures glucose depending upon the body's needs. So the need to store or release glucose is primarily signaled by the hormones insulin and glucagon. Okay. During a meal, pag mukaon ka, your liver will store sugar. No? Katang hindi kaon, store to niya sugar or glucose as a glycogen. So, pag sobra-sobra ang imuhang kanang yung gikaon nga sugar, ang uban ato store niya as glycogen kasi kinahanglan man nimo og reserve. So, iyan ang itago. No? Taguan niya sa liver para magamit niya. Kung wala ka sugar nga gitake in ang imong atay mugawas kung gipa-reserve murag nagbangko ka man anak ko kwarta mo withdraw ka ana. Pero ang tawag sa glucose na naa sa liver is glycogen. Okay. The high levels of insulin and suppressed levels of glucagon during a meal promote the storage of glucose as glycogen. Klaro mo na ito niya. If you can still remember, we have two cells in the pancreas, the beta cells and the alpha cells. The alpha cells releases glucagon. The glucagon mo ito'y makapataas sa sugar. Si insulin, mo makapababa sa sugar in the blood. Pero once na nagkaon ka, kataas man tayo ang imong sugar, dili mo pagawas si beta si alpha o glucagon. Instead, ang katay mo gikaon, mo to'y i-reserve niya. I-reserve sa body. Ang katong sobra to i-reserve niya sa body padulong sa imong liver. And ang tawag ani si glycogen. Okay? The liver makes sugar when you need it. And when you're not eating, tayo sa gabi or between meals, kung wala ka merienda, the body has to make its own sugar. Wala ipagawas na hinahilay. The liver supplies sugar or glucose by turning glycogen into glucose. Ipagikan sa pagka-glucose, i-deposit sa liver into glycogen. Gikan sa pagiging glycogen, paggawas niya sa liver, nayon na po siyang glucose. And we call this one as glycogenolysis. The liver can also manufacture necessary sugar or glucose. Kung saan man. Kung gusto niya mag-manufacture, daghan ang glucose sa iya, mag-harvest siya og amino acid. Okay? So, magkuha siya ng amino acid, mga proteins, waste product, and fat byproducts. And this process is known as mag-harvest siya sa laing source, dili lang sa sugar, tawag ani gluconeo, from the word neo, that's new. Gluconeogenesis. Okay? Okay, as you can see in here, pag naka sa fasting state, wala ka nagkaon. The the pancreas will release insulin, pero ang problema lang, kaya wala kang kagikaon, pagkatayin mo ang sugar, i-deposit to into the liver as glucagon. Okay? So once katong mga wala kay ginakaon, igawas na po na ang glucagon, mahimo na po siyang glucose. Okay? So ang uban nga kuhaon niya nga sources is from the fat, amino acid, katong other substrate, and so on and so forth. So nakita ninyo diha converted to glucose ang glycogen na nisulod sa imong liver. Kailangan mo sa imong blood o imong glucose. Ayan. Okay. Next. The liver makes another fuel. No? We call this one as the ketones. When the sugar is in short supply, and this is very dangerous. So when your body's glycogen storage, kapag i-store sa liver, ang tawag ato sa glucose na naa sa liver is glycogen. Once igawas na sa liver ang glucose, ang tawag ato niya, ang glycogen, ang tawag niya is i-convert na po siya into sugar or glucose. So kung kaning storage na ni sa glycogen is kumahira, na-store sa liver, ang lawas lang mo start to conserve the sugar supply for the organs that always require sugar. So manguha siya laing supply. So manguha siya laing supply sa fats. Ang fats, pag iyan ang buakon para mahimo siyang glucose, ang tawag sa iya ketones. Kung gawas ang mga ketones gikan sa fat, fatty acid. Now, kinsa man ang mga what are the organs that are that needs a lot of sugar? The brain, the red blood cell, and part of the kidneys. No? So, ina-replenish man ang ato ang dugo. Gina-cleanse ang ating dugo. Now, para supplyan of sugar, the liver makes alternative fuel called the ketones from the fats. So, in this nga, katong regular gid na glycogen ang iyang buak ang dili, ang katong fats. Pag buak ani ang gawas are the ketones. O di tawag ko process is ketogenesis. So makita ninyo katong ketosis or keto diet, no, kaon kay daghang fats kanang puro mga tambok pero mupayat ka. Ano man instead kay imuhang mga tambok sa imong lawas mao may gibuak kaya lang delikado ni siya because dili po sa tanang panahon kaya lang sa lawas ang oversupply of fats, okay, and byproduct is the ketosis. Now, the hormone signal for ketogenesis is to begin is a low level of insulin. So bago niya mahitabo nga bago niya mahilaptan ang fats nga reserve, kinahanglan gamay sa daw ang level sa imong insulin as in wala jud kay pangbuak, wala jud kay pang ano sa imong sugar. Now the ketones are burned as fuel by muscle and other body organs. And the sugar is saved for the organs that need it. Remember ha, lalong kinahanglan naman nga ang lawas mubuak siya sa uban nga deposit lopisotil the fats. Because remember, once nga ang glucose dili magamit or dili mosulod, okay, or ang insulin dili siya magamit or resistant to insulin ang cell, dili magamit ang sugar. Therefore, ma-deprive ang imuhang lawas, ang imuhang dugo with the necessary nutrients, no, para mo burn, no, di walay burning. That is why kinahanglan sa lawas og lain nga source para mahimong fuel, so mangita na siya sa lain. Okay, so nga na mahitabo. So during ketosis, no, so ang katong mga sugar nga nasa imong kanang liver will be converted to ketones, no? So kung katong nahatag na mga sugar, kung sobrang excess, mahimo siyang fats. Then later on, burn na siya into sugar. Ang problema lang, kaya pag adto diri sa imong blood vessel, instead na mahimo siyang glucose yun, ketones ang mugo. So, kita ninyo, lain ka siya shape. There is increased ketone production. And delikado ni pag labi lang adto sa utok sa pasyente. So the term gluconeogenesis, glycogenolysis, and ketogenesis may seem like complicated concept of words, no? So when you have diabetes, these processes can be thrown off balance kasi pwedeng dili lagi balance pa lang. And if you know what is happening, you can actually fix the problem sa imong pasyente. So there are other hormones that other than insulin that affect the blood levels, sugar levels in the body. So unsa man ni? This is about glucagon, amylin, GIP, GLP-1, epinephrine, cortisol, and growth hormone. So glucagon is made by the islet cells, alpha cells in the pancreas, which does production of glucose and other fuel ketones in the liver. So the glucagon is released overnight and between meals, maintaining the blood sugar and fluid balance. O na nga, di ka ni kamukaon at wala pa tayo mga in-between meals, lagi po tayo sugar, pero gikan ni sa glucagon nga gi-convert into glucose. So it signals the liver to break down its starch or glycogen stores and help to form new glucose. So in contrast naman, after meal, pag ang sugar tinitaas na siya, then the liver doesn't need to make sugar. So the consequence, glucagon levels fall. So in individuals with diabetes, the opposite occurs. While eating about the glucagon level rise, which causes the blood sugar levels to rise after the meal. And diabetes, with diabetes, blood sugar levels are too high at meal times. Okay. So we also have the GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1. Okay, so basahan na lang ninyo. And you can also research about these things as we go along. No? So I'll move a little bit. Okay, so there are types of concentrated hormones that affects also the condition of your insulin as well as in your sugar. Ayan. Yeah. Nakita ninyo ang picture. So, tanawa na ninyo. Dali ka tayo na sample. Okay. Yan. So, makita ninyo na din eh. Now, if you have this presentation later on, we can make use of that. Okay. So, I'll move a little bit faster. Okay. Now, those hormones, no, the hormonal responses to the low blood sugar may last only for 6 to 8 hours. During that time, blood sugar may already be difficult to control. Ang tawag is a phenomenon of low blood sugar followed by a high blood sugar is called rebound or Somogyi reaction. This always comes out in the board exam. Ang Somogyi reaction. Okay? So, when you have type 1 diabetes, insulin reactions to low blood sugar are common cause of stress. So, kung iyan ang hitabo, automatic, it will release epinephrine. Ang sabi ni epinephrine and glucagon for a year, so after diagnosis, followed by slow release of cortisol and growth hormones. During that time na kanang babae yung sugar, automatic naalayoy pang speed up sa tanan. No? You call that one reaction. You have the epinephrine being released. Okay? So, because of the stress, kaya ang lawas nagsakit and so on and so forth, na ay magawas ng hormone na tawag cortisol. Okay? So, kung na ay under sa stress ang lawas, ang cortisol is taas kaayo. Pero supposed to be, during that time, nga na-stress ang lawas, dapat taas yung taong sugar. Kaso lang kung magpang sugar, hatagan na o epinephrine, bugawas yung epinephrine. Okay? That is why, because of these responses, no, malay dula sa lawas, okay, ang sugar will be increased. However, kung mahuman na, ang taas kayo nga sugar, kaya baba na siya because okay na ang lawas. No? Ikan sa pagkababa sa sugar, na musaka o kalit because of the epinephrine effect, no? There is a rebound. Baliktad, ay ganun, sa baliktad or para pag sa bola, i-rebound niya. Sumugod effect ang tawag sumugod reaction. Ang pagbalik. Okay? No? So when you have type 1 diabetes, stress may make your blood sugar go up and become more difficult to control, and you may need to take higher doses of insulin. Okay? And given other hormones would take into action, so this would fix siya. So individuals with diabetes may have difficulty controlling their blood sugar. Okay. So in a person without diabetes, ketone production is the body's normal adaptation to starvation. So sa mga tao na wala diabetes, burn up ang inyong fats, no? During starvation, kayo taon, sugar, siya ang burn up. Kaso, tungod kay naamon kay balancing ng insulin. and glucagon. However, sa mga tao na may diabetes, this is quite dangerous. Kasi ang reproduce mo is the byproduct of fat metabolism. And this is life-threatening levels of ketones can be developed. So what are ketones and why do I need to know about them? Ketones and keto acids are alternative fuel for the body that are made when glucose is in short supply. They are made in the liver from the breakdown of fats. Okay? So they are formed when there is not enough sugar or glucose to supply the body's fuel needs. This occurs overnight during dieting and fasting. So during this period, okay talaga na mag-fasting or intermittent fasting na ginatawag ninyo. Kailan mo payat? Because the ketones are being the fats are being burned and converted into ketones. Kaya lang, over time, dili yun maayo nga mag-burn, mag, kanang, magtaghan ang ketones as a byproduct. So, delikado siya. So during this period, insulin levels are low, but glucagon and epinephrine levels are relatively normal. Now, this combination of low insulin and normal glucagon and epinephrine levels causes fat to be released from the fat cell. The fat travels through the blood circulation to reach the liver, where they are processed into ketone units, and then it circulates back into the bloodstream and are picked up by the muscle and other tissues to fuel the body's metabolism. So, ingana, no? So, kung wala ka diabetes, okay lang, mag-burn up sa inyong ketones. Dili man siya ma-stock up. Pero kung naano ang diabetes, may problema. Okay, wala ka kay insulin to back you up. So, naa kay epinephrine. So, pwede, kung ang epinephrine will increase the heart rate, the increase contraction of your heart muscle, and it will also um, stiffen the one, the area kung asa mag-agi sa blood vessels. So, pwede mag-heart attack yung pasyente ano kasi mataas sa inyong BP, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, as you can see in here, during ketosis, ayan. Okay, so ketones can be dangerous and life-threatening. So, in type 1 diabetes, when there is not enough insulin, the fat cells keep releasing fat into the circulation. And the liver keeps making more and more ketones and keto acids. The problem is too many ketones. Pag taas ka ng ketones, taas kayo dagang kay fats na na-burn out, the blood pH, okay, acidity is too low. Mahimo siyang, blood pH is too low, and the condition is acidotic. When you call this one as diabetic ketoacidosis, which is an emergency medical situation and requires immediate care sa hospital. The diabetic ketoacidosis can occur even when you have type 1 diabetes and is an medical emergency. Okay? So, okay. So, unsa lang time diha sa inyo ha? Sige daw. Unsa lang time? Dala sa oras. Students, unsa lang oras? Dala oras. Uy, nawawala din. Hindi lang po.
11-12 po, ma'am.
11-12 po, ma'am.
Naka-follow mo? Na-follow ninyo ko? Will you follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Sa
Tama.
uban, wala kayo kay tol kaganihan. Pero ma'am, pwede
Ah.
yung
Hmm. Ayaw mo pag-select sa files, I can give you the files. Ang importante is nakasabot ba mo. Okay? Kasi ang akong quiz or even ang exam will focus on the things na ako ang kuan sa inyo ha. Sige daw, pangutana daw mo. Kasi pangutana. Question. Pangutana. Because this should have been explained sa inyo ha. Dito sa inyo ang concept. Kaso lang, wala pa magulong. Layo pa mo tinuod sa concept. Mo pa pagsugod sa inyo ang MS. Endocrine pa ni. Endocrine pa ni. Sumili sila yun pa. Sige, pangutana daw. Pangutana. Sige, pangutana. Wala, wala mo utana. Bili, nakasabutan na. Hindi problema. Wala. Ang padayon ko. Okay, sige. So, halimbawa, when you entered, okay, here is a patient coming into the emergency room. Ang iyang case, for example, is not actually diabetes. Kaya ang pagsulod niya, check dayon sa iyong sugar, taas tayo ang iyong sugar sa blood. So, the patient may come in with a different problem. But, musulod na taas kayo ang iyang sugar. Most probably, na ay nahitabo sa iyang beta cells, sa iyang pancreas. So, it could be na ang iyang pancreas has been attacked. No? The beta cells have been attacked. It could be attacked by CD4, CD8 T cells, and so on. No? It actually destroyed the beta cells that produces insulin. No? Nangawalay pagkababa ang iyang sugar. So, at the same time, ang B cells also are making antibodies against the beta cells protein. So, katong mga B cells na to, atong mga T cells, mga regulators na to, na atay mga pamaagi na nagkakos of inflammatory reactions or even antibodies. That is why dili siya basta-basta na ma-counter sa lawas. Labi na kay wala kay insulin. Okay, you have to remember that one. So, if the patient comes in with sepsis ang yung cause, pero yung sugar taas kayo, always correlate that one. Katulad sa ihang infection, mo na nga nagtaas yung sugar. You also have to recheck kung talagang wala yung function ng yung pancreas or may taas ang sugar because of the presence of infection. Okay. Let's move on. So, ano ba na other beta cell reformation? So, nagkaporma ang beta cells, no? By cell division. Pero, daghan lagi ang posibleng na-destroy. Remember, pag ang inflammatory reaction sa lawas, isog kayo. Pwedeng dili kayanon sa imong mga cell. Pwedeng maguba yun siya, no? And it's very important to remember na di basta-basta ma-replace. Okay? So, kung ang beta cells daw is reduced by 80%, no enough insulin is being released, can be formed, and blood sugar rises, and clinical diabetes is diagnosed. No? So, we'll move on. So, prolonged development period prior to diagnosis of diabetes has several implications. So, unsa daw ang implications ano as lugay kaayo, no? Na-develop at-risk individuals may be identified, at-risk individuals still have significant beta cell functions. Okay? So, dapat sa'yo, ang early diagnosis mo ay pinaka-importante. Okay? So, para dili mo progress into more dangerous levels as the ketones are already being used as fuels. Okay? So, padayon ta. Basahan na ninyo ha. Okay. Kung siya, detalyado siya because sulat, i-explain din ako lang tanan kung saan about sa autoimmunity and so on. So, actually, CD good siya. Isa ka case presentation good siya. No? Okay, sige. Padayon tayo. Sige, basahan na naman ninyo. Kaya na lang ninyo. Yan. Help yourself. I hope dili ninyo kalimutan ang inyong natunan. Sige. Kay natunan niyo sa anatomy. Okay? So, wait lang. Move on na po. Dito sa okay, so how do you check mga lab test? So basically, naatay insulin. Okay? Isa ang ato ang insulin treatment. Usually, dapat na kay lab. No? Kaso lang, dili na inana ka ginagamit yun. No? Sa hospital kay short mo ditag staff. Pero kung very particular yung ka, dapat ihatag yun mo, utangan yun mo kung pila yung bolus, pila carbohydrates ang kailangan niya, and so on and so forth. The exercise factors. Yan. So, what is the difference between the type 1 and type 2? I'm focusing on the type 1 because ang type 1 mayroon ang kanina yung problema dito. While ang type 2, may paggamay ka lang, mag-exercise ka, ano pa, di ba ingon ko na deposit dito sa fats. So, pwede, habang nag-extract yung mga fats, gina-burn out yung burn sa sugar. So, dili kayo kayo sa type 2 diabetes. Okay? So, to check the ketones, you can make use of a keto sticks or chemistry. Depende na sa imuha kung unsa ang imuha gamitin. Okay? Yeah. So the normal ketones is less than 0.6 millimole per liter. Okay, so timan-an lang din na siya. Depende sa company kung asa i-produce ang katong type sa gamiton nimo. No? Example, Abbott and others. Yan. Okay. Mga keto strict. Yan. So, basahan na ninyo. Ayun. Okay, let's move on to injection. Multiple injections and using of insulin pumps. Okay. So always remember na triple insulin is being released from the pancreas. Pero kung wala na siya i-release, then kinahanglan of insulin from synthetic insulin. Yan. So, tatasa. Alas 11 na ba? Yan. Okay. So, principles of insulin replacement. When you have type 1 diabetes, you will need to start insulin therapy because you no longer need your own insulin. Okay? Ang insulin, injectable siya, will try to mimic, ihang kopyahan ang natural or non-diabetic insulin secretion. So there are two components of insulin therapy. Una, okay, you have the basal insulin replacement. Ayan. Ano saan mo ihatag? So, naakay breakfast dinner, naakay lunch, naakay supper. Ayan. Background insulin replacement. Ayan. Kita mo ang dotted na blue. While a natural insulin secretion is kanang umang lavender and violet. Okay? So intensive insulin therapy tries to duplicate the body's natural pattern of insulin secretion. Kopyahon niya, with intensive insulin therapy with a low steady, kita niyo, a low steady amount of insulin overnight. Inay lang, pero steady siya dire-diretso. While fasting and in between meals are illustrated by the dashed line. Okay? So, kita na ninyo, oh, straight siya diretso. Pero kung fasting, auto na ay dash line. So, basal replacement. Okay, the controls glucose overnight and between meals by keeping fat in fat tissue and curbing glucose production from the liver. So, it provides a low continuous level of insulin, can be a long-acting insulin, okay, which you inject once or twice daily, such as insulin analogs, insulin gargling, and insulin determiner and NPH. It can be a rapid-acting insulin continuously infused under skin if you are using an insulin pump. Represent about 50 or half of the monthly daily insulin requirement. So, kailangan nila mo na ay insulin. Pero remember, kumbaga si Gary Valenciano, ay kung diabetic na siya, ang pangutan naman, ano, nagasayaw-sayaw mo na siya mga because kung mahimo lang unta, ang iyang insulin, i-replace na siya sa iyang pagsayaw. Pero di pwede nga, habang nagasayaw siya, habang nagasimot siya, pagkaan siya insulin, they will experience an insulin shock at bigla, baba maayo yung sugar. Delikado kayo, dito sa itaas kayong insulin. Taas ang insulin, simot ko din siya. Delikado. So, so there are two kinds of bolus placement. Ang bolus book ka lang dinaghan. So we have the mealtime bolus to cover the carbohydrates in the meal. We also have the high blood sugar production bolus, provides extra insulin to return the blood sugar back to the target when the blood sugar is too high. Ang bolus insulin is just provided by rapid-acting insulin analog. So, ang rapid-acting, lower the rapid paghatag mo sa reaction, paspak kayo sa correct, mababa na yun ang sugar. Okay? Under area, we have aspart, insulin lespro, and insulin lilizil, or the regular insulin, which is very common. Natin itawag regular insulin. It represents about 10 to 20% of the daily insulin requirement at each meal, about 50% of the smallest daily insulin needs. Okay. So, kita ninyo, natural insulin secretion, ay hindi ko i-pattern nila diha. And then, we have ang bolus insulin, which is represented by the orange dotted line. Ihatag before sa breakfast, yan, oops, saka siya, tapos pagbaba na po siya sa lunch, kanya, resak na po siya, and then baba na po sa supper. Okay, this is bolus insulin replacement. Ayan. insulin therapy tries to duplicate the body's natural pattern of insulin secretion. Okay? So, with intensive insulin therapy, you need a low, steady level of insulin overnight. Hinay lang. Fasting and between meals and a rapid surge of insulin at mealtime. Okay? So, the types of insulin, summary, human insulin and insulin analogs. So, lahat ng human insulin, these are taken from kanang pigs, no? And cows. Lahat po insulin analogs and available for insulin replacement therapy. Okay? So, depende sa timing, sa actions niya sa body, ihatag ang insulin. So, insulin analogs have been developed because human insulin have limitations when injected under the skin. So, in high concentration, as in vial or cartridge, human clumps together. So, sabi na itong mga animal insulin, makumpul-kumpul na yun sila. So, mo lang natin mga analog, dili tinuod ba in short. Mo act out lang as insulin, pero dili is siya. Ang uban kuan kanang mo react siya because dili siya natural ang source. So the clotting causes low and unpredictable absorption from the subcutaneous tissue and a low dependent duration of action. The larger the dose, the longer the effect of the duration. In contrast, insulin analogs have a more predictable duration of pattern. Okay? It will last longer and have even more efficacious effect. Okay, so basahan na lang ninyo asa na isugod. So, the source ato ang insulin, kanang ana artificial insulin. So, dili siya natural human insulin, yan from the beef and pork pancreas. Yan nato na gikuha ang sa insulin. So, it is categorized by differences in the onset of peak duration. May onset, how quickly they act. Kung sila makaspasan mo, feeling nila. May it kana ba na-achieve na mo ang pinakataas niya nga height sa iyang excitement ka ng adlaw. Mori pasabot. 8 minutes say iabot na siya sa pinakapunto, nag-release na siya sa iyang potential, no? Iyang effect dapat. No? Then, duration, kalus mag-wear, hantod mawala ang effect niya. Okay. Ang concentration naman, 100 units per ml or 100 U100. Okay? So, na yung mga insulin, ang mga insulin ginasold out of no? Units, 100 units per ml ang concentration. So, if you purchase insulin abroad, be sure it is U100. So, route of delivery, whether they are injected under skin or given IV. So, what good ka ng, usually sa hospital, pag nasa emergency room, tapos taas ka yung sugar, usually ginahatagan ng insulin through IV, no? Di ginasagol para mababa ang sugar sa pasyente. Okay. So insulin is usually injected into the fatty tissue just under the skin. So it is usually injected as subcutaneous tissue. You have to remember that one, subcutaneous. Okay, for the fast-acting insulin, they are absorbed quickly from the fat tissue into the bloodstream, used to control the blood sugar during meals and snacks and to protect the high blood sugar. So, parang mga fast-acting insulin, mo na ginagamit nila para dali lang baba ang sugar. So, we also have the rapid-acting insulin analog. No? Ang onset of action, pagsugod sa iyang action, 5 to 15 minutes, in about 1 to 2 hours, and duration niya will be 4 to 6 hours. Anyway, as you go along with the concept, memorize mo yun mo ano yun. So, mag-memorize ka lang yun mo sa mga concept niya, kano sa siya mag-take effect, kano sa siya mag-last. Okay? Iayuan lang yun ako. So, however, it is being affected by the dose. So, ang gamay na units, few units may last 4 hours or less, pero kung 25 to 30 units, it may last 5 to 6 hours. As a general rule, assume that this insulin have duration of action of 4 hours. Okay. Madali lang na. So, as a general rule, assume that this insulin have a duration of action of 4 hours. Okay? So, ato na good ta sa ito nga, para mahumalata. Na atay different types of insulin. Okay? So, tanawan na lang na ninyo ha, it is injected into the different subcutaneous tissue. No? Ayan, no? Very injection or infusion. No? The most common insulin delivery is through the syringe. No? So, naatay may insulin in 100 units, 30 or 50. Ayan. So, natay nga ni klase ang ato ang insulin mo siya o tuberculin syringe, pero dili siya lahi ang insulin syringe. So, basahan na lang na ninyo. Ayan. Okay. Nga na siya, nga na itsura niya. So, the needles are fine, about 31 gauge, and about 3 and 16 of an inch for an infant and half inch for more for adults. So, subcute. So, rarely, di na common na insulin is injected into a muscle. It is always in the subcutaneous tissue. So, mahatag lang na siya into muscle during medical setting, no? Parang emergency, yan. Okay. Na ano siya, cartridge lang, and okay, ayan. Palito na lang so na inject. Okay? So kung pila ka units ang kailangan, dito na ma-adjust mo na ninyo. No, dili mo na mahurot na yun. So depende sa imuhang di kinahanglan. Okay? So tuon na kay mga mayudro ka pa, pila lang ko na karon dili na. So ang uso ana is the insulin pen. Okay? So naana natin insulin pen, pre-filled na ang amount sa insulin, and then kung mahurot na, labay na lang. Okay. Excuse me. Then, what else? So patient instruction. You feel or see hard lumps in the skin when you inject the insulin. Now, call the doctor. You think you give yourself too much or not enough insulin. Injections are very painful. Dili ba na dapat painful? Kaya gamay na magiging ang needle na. You see blood or clear fluid on the injection site more than once after you inject. Mo bitaw na nga ang subcutaneous tissue, rotate na siya. Sa arm, duha left and right, sa imuhang tummy, no, sa abdomen, ana kay dili pwede nga isa lang ka side or else mura siya og matagtag ka ng malata siya ba, no? So Mm. So please check the label and color of the insulin, okay, the type and strength, depende, labi na ang expiration date on the label, then ang cartridge po, i-check din ay maayo. Okay. So, kailangan ninyo makita kung unsa gyud ang iyang itsura, unsa gyud ang tamang itsura niya bago ninyo i-inject. So, i-check ninyo because sometimes cloudy ang insulin, no? Mix cloudy insulin. Insulin will remain cloudy after mixing, but it will all be cloudy. Gently roll the pen back and forth between the palms of your hands. Repeat 10 times. Do not shake the pen. Okay? So this will make the insulin clump together in motion A shape. Then gently tip the pen up and down 10 times. Ana lang mo, saka mo, baba mo, ala. No? Do not use the insulin if there are clumps in it after you mix it. Okay. So, no matter what type of pen you use, the steps for using it are the same. So, kung magwa ka, naka-insulin pen, then you have nasa siya sa refrigerator 30 minutes before you use it, no? Insulin should be injected at room temperature daily now. So wash your hands, soap and water or alcohol-based rub. This will decrease the risk for infection. Okay, remove cap on the pen, wipe the needle attachment with the alcohol swab, attach the needle to the pen. So please make sure, okay, wala naman ako nakarga dahil wala gila actually. I-check ninyo sa YouTube kung saan recap up, kung saan pag-move sa cup sa pen, how do you attach the needle to the pen, and so on. Dali ka na. Okay? Okay, so, then, please read. No? These are the areas na pwede mo mag-inject sa inyong insulin. Upper outer arms, abdomen, buttocks, and upper outer thigh. So be very careful with buttocks. Okay? Pwede mo makaigo og nerve diha. So, ayaw din siya i-inject in areas where you have wound or bruising, and do not inject insulin through your clothes. Of course, diretso sa skin. Okay. Then, yan, insulin injected into same areas can cause, ganun din, kambi-kambihan din yung areas because it can cause lumps, magbukol-bukol na siya, swelling, or thickened skin. Okay. So, how to inject insulin with a pen? Again, you visit YouTube, pangita mo, o video, ano ha? Okay, so, makita ninyo kung saan pag-inject sa insulin. Ayan. Put the needle out, do not rub. Okay, pwede mo lift out na siya. Ayaw i-rub, sabi lang siya. Yan. How do you store it? Yan. Makita ninyo. We also have the continuous subcutaneous insulin infusion devices. No? Kanang wala na kayo buhaton, diretso na lang ibutang, and then siya na bahala at times na kailangan na siya magpatag ng insulin, mag-inject na lang sa sarili niya. Okay? See. So what else? Mo nga taas kaya ko ano kay kompleto halos siya sa sulod ano. Okay, so ang uban, need to know gud ni siya actually. Need to know, pero tungod kay gamay ra ka itong energy. So kaniyo, makita ninyo, kanos ay hatag insulin pump, ang hatag na siya during breakfast, bolus, lunch bolus, and soup and supper bolus. Ang ginagamit is the rapid acting insulin. Okay, so ang pasabot na ko ana na ay mga times na kailangan jud nato gamito na siya because naay panahon makalimot kung gud ang tao. Okay, samantala kung nakapump siya, ano siya hinaon-naon. Ayan. So, naka-pre-program, depende. Okay. Yan. So, please, basa mo maayo ani, ha? Okay. Sige, tagaan na lang na ko kopyaan. Pero, please lang, basa yun mo because walay tinungdan kung di mo mag-study. Okay? Itong pinaka-importante mo to ang ato ang okay, and also calculate the insulin dose. Ha? Yan. So, for example, kanin, carbohydrate coverage at here, if you have to calculate the carbohydrate coverage insulin dose during this, using this formula. So, natin carbohydrate insulin dose, no? Total grams of carbohydrate in a meal divided by grams of carbohydrate is put per 1 unit of insulin. So, equals carbohydrate insulin dose. So, for example, if you are going to eat 60 grams of carbohydrates for lunch, your insulin ratio is 1 is to 10. To get the carbohydrate insulin dose, plug the numbers into the formula. So, for example, total grams of carbohydrates in a meal 60 grams divided by grams of carbohydrate disposed by 1 unit of insulin. Okay, so you divide ano siya, the result is 6 unit. Only ang carbohydrate insulin dose. Hatag mo ang 6 units. Depende sa imong gikaon. Mo na siya nga kailangan computon. So you will need 6 units of rapid acting insulin to cover the carbohydrates. So it takes a lot of practice para makuha ninyo, no? So kinahanglan kabalukod mo pila ang units, pila ang grams sa imong gikaon, and you need a nutritionist or diabetologist to compute for that para insakto nga insulin ang makuha sa inyong pasyente. Okay? So it can be used also for high blood sugar correction. Ayan, sige. Alayin lang ito. So basahon jud ninyo, it's very, very important. Kani importante kayo nga mga slides ang ako ang i-include because this is my comprehensive um, diabetes PowerPoint. Okay. So, kani, so, halimbawa, no, carbohydrates nimo, unsa, kunyari, regular beer, mag-inom kag beer, 12 ounce na siya. Now, carbohydrates in grams is 13 grams na siya. Ang calories is 150. So, imo na siyang compute how much is considered one drink. Yan. Please take note. Okay? Na naadyo kay sundan. Yan. Ano, oh. Sundan mo, unsa na siya. So, compute na niyo. Okay? So, this is now the insulin pump that we were talking about. Ibutang na siya kung sa mga areas na supposed to be injectable dito, pero ibutang ay pump para automatic siya na mo inject. Alili na kailangan mo na kung nakalimot mo ka, magkuha pa ba ka, makalit ka, and so on and so on. Okay, so that's it. Ang uban, wala na na po. Please read na lang. Okay, wala nila akong files kung daghan ayaw ni siya. Actually. So, sige lang. At least ako lang bilhin. For diabetes mellitus type 2, dalit lang siya. It takes a lot of education, exercise, and a special protocol, no? For the body to follow. Okay? Sige. So, I'll have one. Last na lang siya. Alaon na to ang ipadala. Ito na. Ipadala niya. Kadali lang. Wait lang. Dali lang. Ito nga, kailangan lagi padala si Sir Lico na video. Dali lang. Okay. Okay, so can you still, okay, wait lang. Makita ninyo ang blood glucose test. Really. Makita ninyo, really. Saan ko pag-share? Saan pag-share o video guys? Saan pag-share? Students, saan pag-share?
I-click nimo ang share screen po, ma'am.
Pero dili man ako ang naaman siya sa Canva. Saan man? Naaman ko siya sa Canva, dili na ko. Ano na lang ha? Ano na lang? Picturean ako, kaya lang. Kaya marag lagi ko kabalo sa una. Ako lang full screen. Tapos ako ang sa inyo ha. Ay, sorry kayo ha. Hindi ko kabalo ko.
Pwede nimo i-copy paste ang link sa Canva, ma'am, tapos kung public, ma'am, ma-open na mo po.
Pwede na ko i-copy paste. Hindi mo ko siya, hindi ko kasabot. Ito. Ako lang, picture na lang ako. Ay, dili. Oh, alam ko na. Sorry kayo. Di mo na ko. Ang problema ko. Picture na lang ako. Diretso. Ako na lang. Kamu na yung mangita niya. How kaya mo kayo anak niya? Sige. Pangitaan na lang ninyo. Kamu na yung tanaw. Di na lang ako inablihan ka. Mag-isod mo ako. Kamulog ang sako niya. Talaga na. Kana. Isend na ako sa GC. Tanawan na lang na ninyo ang video. Anyway, so